Firestarter has just arrived in the cinema and this is my movie review. Was I sat in the movie theatre thinking, it's getting hot in here, or was this movie more a case of, oh dear, oh dear. Hey guys, welcome to Marcus Loves Movies and welcome to my Firestarter movie review. This is a remake of the 1984 movie, which is based on a Stephen King novel. The original 1984 movie starred Drew Barrymore, and I gotta be honest, I haven't seen that film, so I've got nothing to compare this 2022 movie to, but I thought Blumhouse Productions are behind this, so it's definitely worth a shot. Just before we get into the review, can I encourage you to smash a like on this video? Please help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Let's get this review out to the masses. I would really appreciate your support. So here's the plot outline. A couple desperately try to hide their daughter Charlie from a shadowy federal agency that wants to harness her unprecedented gift for turning fire into a weapon of mass destruction. Her father taught her how to defuse her power, but as Charlie turns 11, the fire becomes harder and harder to control. When a mysterious operative finally finds the family, he tries to seize Charlie once and for all, but she has other plans. So does she go around saying, I'm a fire starter? A twisted fire starter? Well, maybe not quite, but let's be honest, baby girl has got some issues. So let's start off by talking about what's really good about the film. First off, I'm going to talk about Zac Efron, who plays Charlie's father. Zac Efron is actually really good in this. He's a solid lead in this film. It's quite scary to think about Zac Efron being at that age where he can play the father to an 11-year-old, but he's actually really good in this. The one thing that lets him down though is because he's a character who also has powers, he keeps having to do this neck thing, which I thought was really weird and off-putting. He's got this special power as well, and he kept doing that, and it took a little bit away from the seriousness of his performance, but I thought he was great. I thought the first third of this movie was really good. I really liked the build-up. They do a lot of the build-up during the credits. It was nice to see Charlie going to school and dealing with troublesome kids, bullies, and she's there trying to rein in this power. She knows she's got it and she's trying to control it so she doesn't lose it. So we're watching the first third thinking Charlie's going to lose it eventually. What's that going to play out like? The first third of the movie was really good, but sadly the middle third, I feel, lets the movie down because nothing great happens. We've got this build up, like something's about to take off, and in that middle third of the movie it all becomes very predictable, middle of the road, nothing great happens. You've got all that potential at the start, and then the story just, nothing special happens. In fact, at the start of the second act, there's an incident with a cat. I won't tell you what happens, but something happens, and I laughed when I shouldn't have laughed. And apologies to the RSPCA if you're judging me, but something happens and I laughed because it felt like it was handled badly, and I was supposed to be taking this moment seriously and the cast were taking it very seriously, but I just found it quite funny. Again, apologies to the RSPCA. And that's when I started thinking, the signs aren't great, this isn't a good movie, this isn't going to be as great as I want it to be. This young girl Charlie has some serious issues, and the other kids in her school treat her really badly. They see her as this weird poor kid because she doesn't have Wi-Fi, she doesn't have the internet, she doesn't have a mobile phone, all for reasons that are explained within the film. So surely we're going to see Charlie go mad at all these other kids, but that is an avenue that is never really explored. We should have seen her go buck wild, go bonkers. We should have seen her with the fire, freaking out at these other kids at school, make the thing really scary, but sadly we don't get any of that. One of the best things about the movie is the last 15 minutes. That's when things start to get really interesting and exciting. I actually wish what happened in the last 15 minutes had happened in that middle third. Like I say, the first third, things are building and building and building, and if the things that happened in the last 15 minutes had happened then, we would have continued to build, and then the final third should have been even greater. But sadly that all happened too late. The other best thing about this film was the music, which was composed by John Carpenter, Mr. Halloween himself. The music is absolutely fantastic. It's got those real haunting Halloween vibes, and it's a bit of a shame to say, but I almost feel like the music was too good for the film. The film wasn't worthy of the great soundtrack. This was actually mine and my wife's first trip trip to the cinema together without our 11-month-old baby girl. It was our first date night. We've actually been to a baby cinema, but that's another story. But this was going to be special, our first date night without our little baby girl. So excited to watch a movie like this together. And sad to say, my wife started falling asleep towards the back end of the movie. Is it because we're parents and we're tired? Well, that could be a reason. But I would actually say it's because the story just wasn't gripping and it wasn't interesting and wasn't massively entertaining. So this was a movie that had a lot of potential, but sadly it didn't live up to it. There were things I liked about it. The opening credits, the John Carpenter soundtrack had that real 1980s horror movie vibe to it. But having watched this on the big screen, this was a movie that I could have watched at home on Netflix or on Prime Video or Video on Demand, some other service. It didn't deserve the big screen. It just wasn't that special. And the ending I thought was a bit weird. So my official Marcus Loves Movies rating for Firestarter is, drumroll, 2.5 stars. I am tempted to go back and watch the 1984 version to see how it compares to this brand new version. I'll do that when I have a spare moment in the day. But I would love to know what you think of the 2022 version of Firestarter. Did you enjoy this film? Do you think it's better than the original? How do you think the two compare to each other? Let me know in the comment section. Whilst you're here, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you do like movie reviews like this one, can I encourage you to subscribe to my channel? I'd really appreciate your support, and also hit the notification bell so you're notified whenever I release a brand new video. Thank you for watching my video, really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next one and I'll see you again soon. So until then, take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching.